Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the Poke Master Slayer speaking with no robot voice this time. And I have a Dragon Slayer mid deck, but I have an expanded version of Garchomp. So let's get into the deck profile. This deck has won me a lot of matches. It's one of my favorite decks to play. Cause you know I like dragons. I'm a dragon. I'm like dragons. That's the reason why I have Slayer at the end. But if we have a Garchomp deck, I run 4 copies of Gibble. I run 2 of each Dragon Gibble because the first 2 Gibbles have the ability with the free retreat, Rock Hiding. If this Pokemon has any fighting energy attached to it, it has no retreat cost. And that is good, but most of the time I do like to use this Gibble with the for 1 fighting energy Ascension. Search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon, put it onto this Pokemon to evolve it, then shuffle your deck. So if you go second, you have this Gibble. It helps you to where if you don't have a rare, like, you know how you can't play rare candy first turn, you can save that rare candy for another Gibble on your bench to where you have 2 Garchomps in 1 turn, because you could Ascension for the Gabite to evolve. And yeah, run 2 copies of each Gibble. 2 copies. And then I run the one copy of Gabite with still for 1 fighting energy. Ascension, search your deck for Pokemon. Basically search your deck for Garchomp and evolve off of this Pokemon. And for a DCE / does 40 damage. Weakness, oh yeah, all of these have weakness to Fairy and they all have 1 retreat cost. So that's quite nice. And it's 80 HP, stage 1. And then Garchomp, the main attacker of this deck. Run 4 copies. Oh yeah. And then 150 HP has free retreat cost, so that's really nice. Basically everything in this deck has 1 retreat cost except for 1 card, and you'll see what that is soon. For DC quick dive, he has a metal sniper rifle. So he's like, "Oh, I see that person hiding in that bush. Bah! Uh-oh, their cover's been blown." This is Fortnite all over again. But yeah, 50 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon that you want of your choice. So that's really nice. It can help you set up for knockout on a bench. Like, since it's expanded format, it could help you set up knockout on like a Shaman or Tapu Lele or just whatever you want, or even for winning the game. Because if you have that 1 prize off, if you have Quick Dive, you just have to use it twice or once depending on what deck you're going against. But yeah, really good against Vespiquen as well. And then for 1 fighting energy, a DC Royal Blades does 100 plus. If you played a Cynthia from your hand during this turn, this tag does 200 damage. So basically, every single turn you want to be playing that single supporter to where you shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 6 cards, and that's really nice. Or you don't have to do it every single turn, but you mainly want to do it your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th turn plus. Basically 3rd turn and above, you want to be using Royal Blades for 200 damage. So yeah, I'm going to show you how ways we buffed this damage. Well, yeah, you already know from the Cynthias. Also, run 3 copies of Railu to evolve into the 3 copies of this Lucario from, oh my gosh, what set is this from? I forgot. I'm so sad, I forgot what set they're from. I think it's from Ultra Prism. Yeah, Ultra Prism. I'm pretty sure it's Ultra Prism. It's Ultra Prism. Pre-Nogative Aura, or just Pre-Aura, because I don't know how to say that whole ability. Once during your turn, if you have a Garchomp in play, you may search your deck for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck afterwards. If you have all 3 of these in play, you just need 1 Garchomp. At first, for some reason, I thought you had to have 2 Garchomps so you could search twice. But you just need 1 Garchomp and you can search your deck up to 3 items you want. Or 3 of anything you want. So that's really nice. Overpowered. It's free computer search. And yeah, you never really want to attack with it. But if you have to, then it's really good because its attack isn't affected by resistance. So you hit for the full damage. For fighting in a colorless, Missile Jab does 70 damage. And 1 retreat cost. Really sweet. And I run 1 Landorus from Furious Fist. Yes, this is an expanded format deck where the only attack we really want to use is Shadow Power Does 20 damage. Attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. It helps in the late game sometimes, even at the beginning of the game, to where if you have you discard some fighting energies, but most of the time this is a late game attacker, to where you can help prepare your last Garchomp or Gibble or whatever. But yeah, and then for 2 fighting and 1 colorless Skylar, it does 90 damage. But yeah, you really don't want to be using that. And it has 1 retreat cost, and then 1 last really overpowered card that a lot of people don't use in fighting decks, which they should probably do that, is Subdudo. Okay. But it has 90 HP, it's a basic, and Watch and Learn is so overpowered. For fighting in the colorless, if your opponent's Pokemon used an attack during his or her last turn, use that attack. So, if for instance if your opponent used a GX attack, you can use their GX attack. If your opponent used like whatever attack that cost a whole bunch of energies, and man, if you go against like a one time, I think I went against a Mega Tyranitar deck with its attack. I think it's like King Destroyer or Destroyer King, and what it does 110 damage, and then it does 60 plus more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon. So basically, that Tyranitar was dead. It did like over 1,000 damage, but it was awesome. But Watch and Learn, very good attack. But yeah, and it's from Breakpoint. But the only thing with 2 retreat costs. So yeah, 1 copy. On to supporters. Very plain and simple, because since it's a Garchomp deck, run 4 copies of Cynthia. Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 6. Run 2 copies of Bridget, because Bridget is a lot better in this deck than Pokemon Fan Club, because you need to pull out all your basics, and yes, we don't run GXs in here, so yeah, this is great. And I run one Lysander, because honestly, we have so many ways we already have free retreat that Guzma's not even needed, so stick with the Lysander. No hate. You see this? Not Guzma. But yeah, 1 copy of Lysander. And we run 1 copy of Lily, just in case if we get this our first turn, we'll be able to draw 8 instead of 6, because draw cards till you have, what it does is draw cards till you have 6 in your hand. But if it's your first turn, and then if you played this on your first turn, you may draw cards till you have 8 in your hand. So that's overpowered. If this is like the last card in your hand, then you go bam, 8 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it's awesome. It's so awesome. But yeah, Lily. And that's the end of our supporters. On to items. This is going to be very simple, but this deck could get quite insane. So 4 copies of Rare Candy, so we can evolve into our Garchomps. 4 copies of Ultra Ball, so we can search your deck out for a Pokemon card for any Pokemon we want. So we have 4 cell phones to call back our supporters whenever we need them. Yeah. Then I run 4 copies of Puzzle of Time, because since we have all those Lucarios to where we can search our deck for anything we want, we could get Puzzle of Time whenever we want. And it's so overpowered, because whenever you, like I said, okay, for new players out there viewing this video, once again, if you only play 1, you may look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in any order you want, but you really don't want to do that. You could play 2, you may play 2 at a time, at once, but if you play 2, you put 2 cards from your discard pile back into your hand. So that is so overpowered. We can get anything we want out of our discard pile. So if we have Cynthia in there, we haven't played a Cynthia for a turn. Bam! But yeah, just get back anything you want. 4 copies of Puzzle Time, and then I run 2 copies of Choice Band, because you know what, we gotta be able to do that extra 30 damage to GXs. So if we go against no need to do extra damage against Zoroark, but Gliscopod or Incineroar, or basically anything with 200 plus HP. We want to be able to do that extra damage to get the knockout. But the only thing, there's a lot of things we can't knock out, especially the Whale Lord with the Fighting Fairy Belt with 290 HP. Ugh, I'm so sad. But yeah, 2 copies of those. Then we run 2 copies of Escape Board, because Escape Board, I couldn't find my other one, but 2 copies of Escape Board. The retreat cost of this Pokemon this card is attached to is 1 star less, which most of our Pokemon have 1 star, 1 energy or less in their retreat cost. But even if it's asleep or paralyzed, so it deals with special condition so that we don't get stuck in the active. So yeah, 2 copies of Escape Board, and then I run 2 copies of Field Board because we don't want to deal with Garb Buzzwole still, because it's Garbodor is everywhere still. And if you haven't seen Darium's Pokemon, you know Andrew Mahone and Natalie, and they had like a group of 7 people playing Buzzwole Garb at like one of the regionals, and it was funny. But yeah, gotta watch out for that Buzzwole Garb. And I run 1 special charge to where we shuffle back 2 special energy cards from our discard pile back into our deck. Self-explanatory. And then I run 1 computer search for... Computer search isn't a spec, so you can only run 1 in your deck. But computer search, basically what it does, it's an item card to where you play it, you discard 2 cards from your hand, and you search your deck for anything you want. So basically, it's like this is the non-free version of Lucario, where you play it from your, basically you play it and you have to discard 2 cards. But that still is overpowered to where if it's like your first turn, you computer search, discard cards, you could get that Lily or Bridget. Bridget's amazing on your first turn. Go for the Bridget. First turn Bridget's wonderful. But yeah, 1 copy of computer search. And then energy count, I run 4 DCEs. I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fighting energies. And yes, guys, this is one of my most favorite decks so far that I've ever played with. I have won lots of matches with it. And yeah, guys, this is my deck profile, and goodbye.